This is section 8.3. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, fine. Don't be excited about it. But it's dividing rational expressions. So just for your memory, when you divide a fraction, you need to make sure you change the multiplication, flip over the last fraction, then multiply straight across. That's how we got the 5 and the 6. Sometimes you're able to cross cancel. So like right here, you could cancel the 5 with the 10, but that would be wrong because you have to flip it. Change it to multiplication before you're allowed to do any canceling. Then you're able to cancel out the 2 and the 10. Change that to a 1, change that to a 5, get 3 over 25. Make sure you flip before you try to cancel anything. So when we have this one, what do you think we do? Well, yeah, you're going to have to change it and flip it. So that'll give me 3 over a times 5a over 6b, because we change it from division to multiplication and flip over the last fraction. Now I can do some cross canceling. A's can cancel out. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. That leaves me with 1 times 5 on top and 2b on the bottom. Or not 2b. That is the question. A harder one. You knew we were going to get to it. So when you go to work this one out, you know you're going to have to do some factoring, right? Because you see these squares in here. So instead of factoring around this one, knowing you're going to have to rewrite it anyway because of the division sign, factor it down here so it's already set up where it's supposed to be. So this x squared plus x minus 2, 2 parentheses, x and x, multiply to give you 2, subtract to give you 1, 2 and a 1, and then the 2 is bigger than the 1. And then for the bottom, you can take a 3 out, which leaves us with x squared plus 3x plus 2. So I got my 3 down here. You can't forget it. But now I need to factor this part in here. So that's x and x. And then 2 and a 1. And a plus and a plus. Change this to multiplication. Flip that over. How we flip that over? Well, technically it's a fraction now with a 1 underneath, because everything is a fraction with a 1 underneath. So when I go to flip it over, it puts the 1 on top and the x minus 1 on the bottom. So, do I have anything that can cancel out? Well, the x minus 1s cancel out. Anything else? The x plus 2s also cancel out. Even though it's something in the same fraction, doesn't matter as long as something's on top with something on the bottom. On top, that leaves me with a 1. On the bottom, that leaves me with 3 times x plus 1. No, you don't need to go ahead and multiply that back out. It's fine to leave it like that. Let's try some harder ones. What do you know? We're going to need this space. Let's see. Ooh, we really will. I was just joking until I saw this. Let's do that one before we do this one. So 6x squared plus 7x minus 24 over 2x squared plus 3x minus 9 divided by negative 9x squared plus 64 over 8x squared plus 21x minus 9. Go ahead, pause it. Let's see how you do. Okay. Two parentheses. No GCF. Let's try a 2x and a 3x since I don't know what it is. 24 says 6 and 4 to me. I'll put the 6 here and the 4 there. Gives me 8 and 18. That's 10. That won't work. Put the 4 here and the 6 there. 12. Sorry, and 12. That definitely won't work. Three and 8. 16 and 9. Woohoo! Okay, so the bigger one has to get the plus. 16 is going to be the bigger one. So that affects that, and that one must be with the 9. I know you saw that, right? For this one, we know we're going to have a 2x and an x. Now, if you'll recall a conversation we had, gosh, for you it's probably been a whole week ago. The whole point of this is to be able to cancel some stuff out. And I see those two there, so I'm guessing that's going to be a -3. It's just a hunch. Don't know that it's true. We'll check it and make sure. But I'm going to start with that, which would make that a 3, because that's how you get to 9. And since they're minus, they got to be different signs. That would have to be plus. Just to check. 6 minus 3 is a +3 on the nose. Change that to multiplication. When you factor this one, make sure you flip it while you factor it. So for this up here, the first thing I'm going to do is take out a negative. So I'm left with positive stuff. Then it'll be the difference of two squares, because that'll become a positive 9x squared minus 64. So I'll end up with 3x and 3x, and 8 and 8, and minus and plus. Up here, because you know it's going to flip over, so that'll come here. That's the only good part about it. One of them has to line up right. So go ahead, no GCF. 8's probably a 2 and a 4. I'm just guessing, because 3 ain't going to happen. And I've already got that one to cancel out, so it's a crapshoot. And then the 9 is probably a 3 and a 3. 12 and 6, maybe not, because 12 and 6 is not 21. And they're going to subtract anyway. I like the 3 and the 3. take that back. I don't like it. Oh, I do like it. Sorry. You know what I'm talking about. Let's do 8 and 1. 24 minus 3 is positive 21. It happens. So now, let's look and see what we got. I'm trying to be sneaky on you. Wow. They are really being, they're trying to get you and trick you. Okay. Canceling stuff out. We all saw that one coming, right? This one cancels out with that one with no issue. This one cancels out with that one with no issue. Which leaves us with this conundrum here. Whenever I have, this isn't like a rule you have to do, this is what I do to make it look pretty. Whenever I have a negative left out, I hate to leave it on the bottom. It doesn't matter if it's on a number or not. I don't like leaving it on the bottom. It's just not pretty to me. So I'll either stick it out front or I'll put it on top. I tend to go with the on top version. I still want to leave it in parentheses, but we need to have a little discussion about this. Because they really were trying to trick you. And I want to make sure you understand that you can't just fall for this trick. You notice how the 8s are there and the 3 is there, and you've got this negative floating around, which can shift places. So if I were to distribute this negative, it would end up being a negative 8x, like that's negative 8, and this would end up being a positive 3, like that's a positive 3. But this x stays with the 8, and it's not with the 8 down here, so you cannot cancel any of this stuff out. They wanted you to see it. They wanted you to fall for it. Don't do it. That's it. I think I'm going to put the other one down here. But don't get angry at me. But you need to have one like this. I'm just going to write a little smaller maybe. Two x squared minus 5x minus 3 over 9 minus x squared divided by 4x plus 2 over 2x squared plus 2x minus 12 times 2 over x minus 2. If you wish to try it on your own, because you got some confidence and you think you can handle this one, go ahead and pause it and see how you do. I'm going to go ahead and work it out. So we know we're going to have to factor the top. There is no GCF. 2x and x. They have to subtract, so I need to get a 3 and a 1. That's going to have to be the biggest. That's the smallest. You see how the x is in the second spot there? Is the x in the second spot in any of the other ones? So it's kind of like that one was up there where things get turned around. Always want the x in the first spot if you can make it. So when I rewrite this, it's the same thing as saying negative x squared plus 9. Just putting it in descending order. Then because we got a negative out front, we need to factor that negative out. That'll leave me with a positive x squared minus 9. Difference of two squares. Now, up here, you could have just called it the difference of two squares and factored it and gotten 3 minus x and 3 plus x. But then your x's wouldn't be in the front. And you really want your x's in the front, because you were going to have to take a negative out anyway to get the x's in the front. That's all I'm saying. It's going to happen. So, multiplication, because it's division up here, means I have to flip whatever's behind that. So this one's going to go here, and that one will go down there. Can I factor that? Well, yeah, it's got a GCF. So that'll be 2x plus 2. Sorry, plus 1. Gotta keep an eye on me. Can I factor a GCF out of this one? Yes, I can. I can take a 2 out. Get x squared plus x minus 6. So x and x, multiply to give you 6, subtract to give you 1. 2 and 3, biggest one gives plus. This one is multiplication. We didn't flip anything when we did multiplication. We only flip when it's behind division. If it's behind multiplication, it stays like it is. What do we have that can cancel out? Why, that's correct. We can cancel those out. Oh, and let's not forget about the 2's. And then the x minus 3's. And then the x minus 2's. And then the x plus 3's. Leaving me with what on top? 2. And what on bottom? That negative 1. And I hate having a negative on the bottom anyway. So it's just negative 2. Told you I'd need the board. Let's talk classwork and homework. Page 326. Numbers 13, 19, 23, and 29. And then the homework. Same page. Numbers 1, 5, 11, 15, 21, 25, and 31. I know. I did great. Glad you're back. Hope you have a wonderful day.